that was mesmerising, emotional, gripping, tear-jerking. If you can get to see Disclosure Day, see it. You can tell it's Spielberg. Oh my God. Right, firstly, Emily Blunt and Josh O'Connor, perfect. The perfect, I would say, double act. It's far from like, comedic double act. But they, oh my God. Words fail me. I don't know how to describe how talented the cast are, how gripping the story is, and how well put together Disclosure Day is. But right, let me just, the positives. Any other film with a different cast and like produced in a different way would have been a bit shit, I think. But this, the soundtrack, it's just brilliant. You can really, you can get that Spielberg sense throughout it. So, there's this like sort of, there's a build-up sort of tension with the score. The sound score is just, it's excellent. It fits each scene as each scene progresses. So soundtrack, amazing. The cast are just brilliant. The story itself, I lapped up. So basically, Josh O'Connor's character, he's stolen like government secrets, and the secrets are that extraterrestrial life exists. Will he flush it out into the world? So we're all aware that aliens are real. I'm going to have to... you might have to fast forward because, I'm going to have to explain the ending. The ending had me crying. The story is brilliant. Eve Hewson, she plays Josh O'Connor's Jane, other half, who he drags along for the ride. And halfway through, he and Emily Blunt then team up to front the rest of the movie. So there's quite a diverse mix of talent here. They really keep the film flowing at a decent pace. It's not just watchable. It's mesmerising and in parts quite emotional as well. So he's got these government secrets and he's trying to get them out there. And so Emily, who plays she's basically a weather girl and / news anchor, or she's definitely a news anchor towards the end of the film. She, it's clear that she's channeling something extraterrestrial, and at the same time she's like linking up with Josh's character. There's a partnership here. So it's all about teaming up to save the world or end the world. Because that's another thing, right? As well as this theme of government, all this shit that the government's kept from us, how dare they, type thing, and wanting to get it out there so that everybody is aware. There's that whole thing of what will it do to the public? What will it do to the planet when we find out that extraterrestrial life exists? What will it do? Now, there is a perfect moment. So, all right, that's your theme. But the perfect moment, especially where the Eve Hewson delivers, is between her and a fellow nun, because her character was a nun in a sort of convent. She's on the phone, amazingly, to a nun at one point. And the way her character says, basically stipulates the fact that when the world finds out that aliens exist, it could cause absolute chaos and collapse. Is the world ready for it? But alongside that, she mentions like God, how people believe in God, and how religion, some people only have religion to hold on to as a sort of reason for us being. The more people believe in God, the more stability they have in, we're all just walking this earth. Now, it touched a nerve with me, because I've always thought that about, religion, absolutely not against any religion whatsoever. But it's always been in the back of my mind how, a story was created, and like the Bible and like God, how some people, are some people holding on to that because if they were aware of what was out there and how we actually came to be, how we came to exist, it would blow their mind. Do you know what I mean? So they wouldn't be able to cope with it. So they need to have that faith to hang on to sort of, make them a bit more at ease of how we came to be. So I won't babble on. Amazing that. But that I love that. So this film, Disclosure Day, it's not just a sci-fi, it's a really poignant, like emotional sort of story. It's very well written. As I say, the soundtrack really keeps it pumping throughout. Another positive, amazingly, is there's no CGI involved. The film, like Colin Firth, when his character pops up, and he's got a brilliant way of invading people's minds, or like sort of transporting himself into their sort of existence. It's brilliant. Oh my god! So when his character turns up, there's no CGI. I mean, there's a bit of like contact lens colouring going on, but how was I so gripped and fully involved? I couldn't take my eyes off the screen. Yet there was no special effects involved. It was just incredible. Right, so, yeah, right, there you go. Bit of a waffle, but that's it. Disclosure Day. Government secrets about alien life. Will they or won't they flush it out? Oh, my God. Right, so I've got a negative here. Bear with me. Now, the negative is it basically slows down. And it becomes like in the end, it veers off into like Emily and Josh's character. It's like what's happening with the alien stuff. So, yeah. It basically, I'll come back to this. This whole this action-packed like drama between them, and the chase between the government and the two. It's it all culminates in the most intense and emotional scene I've seen in a movie in years. So, fast forward now, if you don't want to hear how this movie ends. Okay, sorry to anyone. Sorry, you're right. I don't know if you're about to go in and watch. Okay, so right. Emily's character, Margaret. They make it to her. She's a weather girl. They speed chase. I'm going to wrap this up really quickly. They speed chase to the headquarters of where she broadcasts from. She sits behind the desk. There's this like build up. The tension builds and builds. It's fucking brilliant. I was so gripped. I was like, I didn't know where to look. I was just like, fuck. I could feel myself leaning forward. And actually, at one point, I was reaching for the remote to turn the volume up because I totally lost where I was. The film was that gripping. I wanted to increase the volume. It was fucking bonkers. I was hypnotized. So yeah, she sits behind the desk. And Disclosure Day takes place in the most, I can only describe it as like, it's just emotional, just a magical way. It was fantastic. The way the shit hits the fan, it all like spirals after following the whole government chase, spirals into an electric showdown of epic, like interplanetary proportions. Like I said at the beginning of this, words fail. I can't, because you're probably listening to this and thinking, okay, yeah, right, yeah, but I can't elaborate. I can't find the right words. But I hope I'm giving you a bit of a picture. Anyway, yeah, it's just brilliant. The way I thought at the very end of the film. That Colin Firth's character, he's clearly like, he's on their tails, and he can't have these government secrets exposed. He can't. It's going to cause absolute instability. Will they? Won't they? Brilliant element. When they do, out the government and like all their like the testing on aliens, the dragging them. Some of the footage they play is horrible. It's, oh my god, I was feeling for aliens. Right. So yeah. When that all happens, I was so relieved because I honestly thought the film was going to end like, he gives Emily Blunt like the biggest glazed stare, and she's like, she stares back. There's a lot of staring in this, and you can sort of gauge the story. You can see what they're telling each other just by eye contact. I thought he was going to give her a look. She's like, okay, I'm not going to do it, and they don't expose the government. But they do, and my God, yeah, the news anchor women, like the fucking newsroom are going batshit crazy. It's broadcast around the world. The anchor, who's actually, she's like displaying all the footage and stuff. She starts like crying. I was crying. I wonder if anyone else was crying. This movie had such an impact on me. Right, okay, this stops now because all I have are good things to say about the film. The negatives. It, as I touched upon, it loses its way. There's this whole this build-up of of drama when they're like, you know, when Josh's character is being tracked down by the government and Emily teams up with him, and it's sort of that's what I didn't enjoy about it at all. Is I was like, well, at one point I was like, oh yeah, they've got footage about aliens, haven't they? What's going on? What are they doing with it? Do you know what I mean? It's all about the story. It just becomes about their relationship, and you know how like philosophical. It sort of spirals off into that, like how philosophical some parts of our world are, how we deal with things, you know, like our relationships. Yeah, I really didn't appreciate that at all. I wanted more, much more, like of the alien footage. I wanted alien stuff. At one point, I thought Emily was an alien, Margaret Fairchild, Weather Girl, because she's got that scene where she gets up and she's like, "Good morning, Kansas City. Today it's going to hail, but don't take your umbrellas because the sun's going to come out." You know, and she's all like this swish, like lavish, very illustrious weather. She's excellent. Emily can do no wrong. She is perfect. I've got nothing bad to say about this woman. So she goes from that to all of a sudden, you know, you can see it in the trailer where she's like, do you know that sort of shit, like whatever it was, the clicking stuff from the aliens. So yeah, she's It's absolutely it's batshit, but it's very well done, and the way she captures like the world. Everyone just pauses when she's like, and all that sort of her facial expressions, her eyes. But there wasn't enough of that. That's what I mean. So the beginning really sparks the fire, but then the fire starts. It starts disappearing. It fades out. What's the whole purpose of it because ultimately you've just got the government just going round and round in circles with Josh and Emily round and round in circles, and Jane fucks off. Eve Hewson's character, she just vanishes. So it goes from, you know, to all of a sudden, you know, like speeding cars and just, you know, constantly being on the run, but there's no alien stuff. Yeah, that wasn't great. Oh God, that's it. I can't really elaborate anymore because this film, it is truly an experience. Like I say, it's emotional. It's very symbolic and philosophical. It's deep at points. The whole touching upon God, you know, people believing in God because they need a faith to hold on to. Otherwise, they will start questioning how we came to be. What is the existence? Where did these red lights come from? Where did this jumper come from? How did we stem from the sand? Do you know what I mean? So in that sense, it's just it's spectacular. I haven't seen anything like this in years, and it's very, very good. I would strongly recommend this. Bang. See, normally I'd press stop here, but I'm just wondering if there's anything I've missed. No, probably not. It's the whole the teleportation, the mind control, puppeteering characters, the soundtrack. You can tell it's Steven Spielberg, the way it raises the tension, this adventurous sort of fast-paced sound score throughout. The characters are brilliant. Emily is perfect. Josh, not so perfect. Eve Hughes. It's a brilliant cast. Colin Firth. Never seen him in anything like this. But yeah, amazing. I was so engrossed and enthralled. But yeah, that whole thing. I mean, I know there was a purpose. I was about to do the alien noise. I can't do it. My mouth's too dry. It's the way it loses it. Halfway through, because it just becomes about hiding out and stuff. And it takes a while for Josh's character to tell Eve's character about aliens and stuff. You know, when the main juice that you want, it just seems to be an undercurrent. But then the story over the top wasn't the main juice. So yeah, it's a bit like that. But the caricature though of Margaret as the weather girl when she's like she's in her dress and suddenly the world just pauses. Oh well, Kansas pauses. You know, better than now, to listen to her. And then, the one thing I wanted most was a glimpse into the other world, like the planet, like where the aliens came from, but I didn't get it. Shame. Anyway, right, leave this here. I wasn't just going to babble the same shite. You probably found that in my He-Man review. I was so enthusiastic about the fucking visuals and CGI that it's all I could it's all I could speak of. But yeah, Disclosure Day. If you get bored throughout this, stick around for the final scene, because it packs such a punch and it's really emotional. Yeah, that's a winner from me. A winner. More positives than negatives, but hey, such is life. Right, that was a decent way to spend my Saturday afternoon. Yes.